let me show you the guy who is trying to buy our government. His name is Sheldon Adelson. And he has already given over $25 million in this election cycle, gave it to Newt Gingrich. Now, that didn't work because he was one of Newt Gingrich's few supporters, and Mitt Romney still overwhelmed Newt Gingrich with even more money. So it's not that money didn't work, it's just that Mitt Romney had more of it. So, well, now that Newt Gingrich is lost, Sheldon Adelson says, that's okay. I hate Obama. So let's just move on and attack him in other ways. So if Mitt Romney's our candidate, great, I'm going to give him money. He just gave him $10 million, but he tells Forbes that he might give him $100 million. In fact, a close confidant of Sheldon Adelson told Forbes that the amount that he will give to Mitt Romney could be, quote, limitless. How do you like them apples? Okay, by hook or by crook, he is going to buy this election. In fact, he literally said, quote, whatever it takes. That's what he's going to do to defeat Obama, whatever it takes. So, by the way, how much is a $10 million contribution for Adelson? Now, remember, he's among the 15 richest people in the world. That equals, if you're making $100,000, which is a good salary, it equals $40 for you. Now, if you're making $100,000, and how much is $40 to you? Not that much. It's a meal, right? If you thought you could buy a presidential candidate for $40, would you do it? I'd do it. Okay, I mean, I'd do it, and I'd be like, okay, do campaign finance report, right? Now, he's saying he might give $100 million, right? Well, to him, that's like $400. And again, I'm talking about a guy in relationship that has $100,000 that he makes per year, right? Well, we're not even talking about the average salary. You know, we're not talking about a guy making $30,000 or $50,000, right? A guy who's doing pretty good. Now, if you thought you could buy the entire U.S. government for $400, would you do it? Again, I'd do it. I'd be like, all right, great. Now that I spent a whole $400, you're going to do campaign finance reform so that nobody like me can buy it anymore? Okay, and then you're going to actually care about climate change. You're going to stop killing civilians. You're going to stop the indefinite detentions. I do all these lovely things. And now, what does Sheldon Adelson want? He wants two things in specific. One is to crush the unions because he has to pay the unions. You know what? Why don't you spend the $100 million actually paying your employees? Then you wouldn't have to worry about buying the election. You know, but instead of giving the $100 million to people who actually work for him day in, day out, he's no, I'd rather buy a politician so I don't have to give that money to my employees. So that's point number one. And an adjunct to that is he says, my God, Barack Obama is socializing this country. We're going to turn it into a socialist country. So then Forbes asked him, so how'd you do under Obama? Oh, terrific. Do you know, and this is amazing, that no one in the country has done better under President Obama than Sheldon Adelson. Literally, he has made more money under President Obama's first term than any other American. How do you like that for ungrateful? And he still turns around, he's destroying the country. What are you talking about? Under him, you became a multi-billionaire. He was already doing well, but actually he struggled a little bit during the crisis of 2008. He was on the ropes for a while. And then they pumped all that money into the financial system, and it wound up helping Adelson tremendously. Bush did, but so did Obama. And then now he's among the 15 richest people in the world. Still not enough. But he's so greedy that he's like, no, give me more, give me more. This socialist who got me my great fortune, not enough. And of course, he also cares about foreign policy as well. And what he wants to do is help Israel. Now, look, Israel is one of our top allies. Everybody wants to help Israel, you know, roughly speaking. Certainly our entire Congress does, and I think great majority of the country does. Now, I happen to think helping Israel would be getting peace in the Middle East. I know, that's crazy, right? Sheldon Adelson is a massive right-winger when it comes to Israel, so he doesn't think that that helps Israel. He thinks crushing the Palestinians, not giving them an inch of land indefinitely, occupying them forever, is a brilliant move for Israel. I think that he's hurting the country he cares so much about, whether it's the U.S. or Israel. But he says, no, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. I got the $100 million. Well, he's got, of course, over $20 billion. But he's like, I can buy your government for $100 million. By the way, I thought that we were concerned about foreign countries influencing our elections. Now, Sheldon Adelson's a U.S. citizen, so he's not from a foreign country. But he says on the record over and over again, my main priority, even more than the unions, is Israel. Can you imagine if a Chinese guy came in and said, oh, my main priority is making sure China kicks ass, and so I'm going to buy a U.S. politician for $100 million and make sure he helps China. Now, China's not an ally, and Israel is, right? But okay, Turkey's a huge ally. Can you imagine if a Turkish guy came in with a mustache rolled up and a fez? They don't really wear the fezzes. Anyway, he comes in and he's like, all right, I'd like to buy the American president. Here's $100 million. From now on, your job is to help Turkey in every way, shape, and form. Will you do that? And by the way, of course, our politicians are like, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. Wherever the money is, yes, we'll help you. Absolutely, sir. Okay, now, on top of all this, here comes the best part. Sheldon Adelson says, I'm actually against the very wealthy people attempting to influence elections. Really? And then he continues, but as long as it's doable, I'm going to do it. But wait a minute, I thought you were against it, right? He's not really against it. If you were actually against it, then you would say, like I was saying earlier, hey, look, I might do it this one time, but then you got to make sure that you fix the laws so that people can't just come in and buy our elections. No intention. He loves the laws as they are. He loves, look, if you could buy the president, you might love it too. That's how power corrupts. So Sheldon Adelson is so full of it when he comes to the first part of that quote, but he's absolutely right about the second part. He's like, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to buy your president, and I'm going to tell him to do exactly as I command. Welcome to American democracy. That's how it works these days.